there's been certain news and developments going on in the internet about the insurgency of a sequel to Dean Israelite's 2017 Power Rangers movie that didn't meet with great criticism amongst the critics about the whole issue of one of the characters, Trinity Kwan, being a lesbian to please the SJW demographic, and that the whole other issue was surrounding its rating, which was a PG-13, and in Russia and Germany it was rated a 18 due to its social issues and all sorts of other stuff and that. However, the PG-13 has been plaguing Hollywood for quite a certain length of time now when it comes to rating its films and that. So it all resonated back in 1980s with the film Poltergeist, which had this given PG rating, and that which people thought it was by right they should be a 15 or an 18 due to the fact it is supernatural themes and that. But Steven Spielberg, the producer of the film, said how about regulating a new rating system called PG-13, which films contains these supernatural beats and whatever should be in a PG-13 category, like with the Indiana Jones film, which was the first film which is over those themes and that. And since then, most action films like the Expendable series and Robocop and Total Recall, which was remakes of 1980s property, and that had the violence toned down and watered down to be given a PG-13 rating, and they didn't do as well as they hoped, and that, and likewise with the Expendables films and that, which has suffered the same problems in the PG-13 status quo, and putting all the issues at the side, then that the Power Rangers film had a 1 million budget. So far managed to rake 140 million gross worldwide. It failed to connect in China, that, but the whole problem is China had the problems with Power Rangers in the past because it's of the phrase it's morphing time, and the title of the series, which was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and that which is a big no-no in China due to the fact it's drug-related references, so that is dropped in that. So in China, it's just repackaged as Power Rangers, and that the film has failed to reconnect, and that it's yet to be released in Japan, which is the home of hentai and anime. In the hope to God it connects with it, though, to say Power Rangers was spun off the show of the super hentai show, whatever its name was. It was in the 1980s and that, which the 90s TV show often used stock footage and had the actors redub the voices when it comes to the scenes in the Power Rangers outfit and that. In the later seasons, when Saban and Shuki Levy got the rights to the series, they start doing their own scenes with the stunt actors in the suits and that and that became a following staple into the '95 Power Rangers the movie, which was didn't have a great special effects budget and that, but with the Power Rangers 2017 one, it did have a spectacular budget due to the fact it was produced and released by Lionsgate. And the Power Rangers, the movie from '95, was distributed by Fox and that. And with the Zords in this version was infinitely way better than I hoped to God have been expecting. I thought it was going to be, no, they're going to do a Power Rangers '95 movie all over again, use of boring CG and all that lot. But James Rolfe and Matt Mattae did say in the review the whole way of this slotting in the Power Rangers theme tune, which the Zords come out in unison, and that did land them perfectly in that. But the many critics did pan it unfairly by giving it poor reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and other Metacritic sites. Matt Jarbo, known as Monday Matt, he gave the film a full appraisal, and that said he enjoyed the film. He's seen it quite a few times because he grew up in the 90s watching the TV show and that and etc. That grown me an attachment to it. Even the likes of Jeremy Jahns and Chris Stuckman and Angry Joe, all of them did give the good reviews on it. But the whole aspect of using the Krispy Kreme gag landed pretty damn well in the film, which I thought was quite clever and unique. But only criticism they had about the film was Elizabeth Banks. Some of them thought her performance as the titular villainess, Rita Repulsa, was played for laughs and that and etc. And didn't take it too seriously in that. There was problems with the film, like the first half was the whole coming together bit of all of them getting these coin things shaped like this in different colours and that, and go through a tedious, overused, cliche training montage in order to become the heroes. And this, they not have made a mistake. They're not worthy. Blah 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 blah. And the whole connection between Bryan Cranston's Zordon and that Gray Montgomery's character did connect where they challenge each other in that, which that scene was pretty damn well. But the other surprising performance was from R.J. Seiler as Billy Cranston, and that he was a kid that was dealing with autism and that to give him abilities that a normal person can't have, like solving equations and that. He did prior to getting the role, he did research it pretty damn well, so he projected that well in that. But I feel the problem with the film, in a nutshell, was the cameos of Jason David Frank and Amy Jo Johnson, which was reduced to standing there holding up a camera phone in front of a green screen, and the, the that was the scene. They didn't say anything like that. I was expecting Amy Jo says it's more phenomenal as a callback to the way she plays Kimberly Hart back in the 90s. In comparisons to Naomi Scott plays the character in the film and that. But Dean Israelite, the director of Project Almanac and this film, he put it down to the whole PG-13 rating and that. But I won't rule out there isn't a potential for not having a sequel. That's early times yet. You got to wait to see how the film does well in the digital and physical market and on cable and television in North America and satellite in Europe and that. See how it fares well and that. But many critics constantly putting the knife in and trying to slash all hopes of a sequel and that, which the Lionsgate did say that it was going to span into 6 movies and that, and a shared cinematic universe like Marvel and DC is doing at this moment, because it is in Finland that to gain so many film properties and that to do crossovers and that it does work well in comic books as such. But they did try it in horror with Freddy versus Jason, and at some point there was talks of a Hellraiser and Chucky crossover, but that got ditched and etc. However, there's still light under the tunnel with this Power Rangers 2017 movie. But yeah, it's still gonna give it another rewatch, pardon me, and then do a follow-up review to see what I think of it. But would I think there will be hopes for a sequel? Probably yes, and such. So this is me, Frankie, croft Smales, wherever you are in the world. Have a great night, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Facebook, and I'll be sharing this video onto those pages and that. To keep up to date what's new, please press the bell to get notified and that, and we'll do more reviews and Ouija board experiments is when time to come and that. And yes, I will be doing Destiny 2 Let's Plays when I get Destiny 2 and that. I'll be doing that on the Vanguardians of the Galaxy channel. I'll be posting a link to that Until then, I'm here to serve the world, and have a great night and fairly well.